This is the 2024 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport L, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to give you the ultimate tour. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Holmes Honda. If you want to know more about this model or anything else they have here in inventory at the dealership, whether it's new or used, check out the link down in the description of the video. And stay tuned and make sure you don't skip through the video, because I'm going to do something in today's video that I don't know that you see in any other videos. I wouldn't really call this a review so much, as I said, and you know from the title, it's the ultimate tour. So I'm just going to show you what all is here, but there is one thing I'm going to do that might surprise you. So stay tuned for that. Let's take a look at what we have here. LED lighting literally everywhere you look. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. The flickering effect is happening due to my camera. That's not really happening. Now, one thing I would like your feedback on: should Honda add fog lights to this CR-V, whether it's a hybrid or non-hybrid version? What do you think? Not available on any of the CR-Vs, so just something to know about. Here on the front end, you will also find active air curtains. As narrow as this area is, there's air flowing through that. It's not a faux vent. It actually does provide for increased improvement in aerodynamics by allowing air to flow through the front end on both sides. And you'll find a combination of some gloss black here on the front end with the upper grille, with some of the areas of the lower grille as well down there, but also some matte black. So a little bit of a finish variation there. That's not a bad thing per se. And as far as safety features go on this model, obviously a lot of airbags within the interior and Honda sensing as well. What exactly is included in Honda sensing? Well, you're going to find adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, and traffic jam assist. And here is the remote. The main thing I know people like to know about when it comes to the remote, well, there's your answer right there. Yes, it does have remote start. It's a proximity key. You do have the walk-away feature, and you can make some adjustments to that within the infotainment system. The side view mirrors are manually folding, but you can fold those if you need to. In fact, you can actually fold them in two different directions depending on your situation. Gloss black mirror caps, turn signal indicators built in as well. I don't know how well you can see it. We have a slight bit of humidity today. You have the blind spot information system right there. If you walked outside here in Shreveport, Louisiana today, you're instantly being baptized because of the humidity. It hasn't rained. That's just all from the humidity. And we'll also find the roof rails up there on top. You can see the body-colored shark fin antenna. This is meteorite gray metallic, by the way. You do have a black interior. Now, I do like the breakup here with the orange. Your contrast stitching, you can also see that with the seats. Tell me what you think. Do you like the black interior? What are your thoughts? The rear roof spoiler finishes things off, and while I like to see a neat and clean rear window, I don't think it's such a bad thing here on this particular model to have the exposed rear window wiper. At least it's here. It would be nice to see that hidden away inside of the rear roof spoiler, but most people I know aren't too worried about that. We'll also see the LED taillights. Now, this particular model is front wheel drive. So two-wheel drive is always going to be front wheel drive, or you can go all-wheel drive. How about our tire and wheel size? We're looking at 235 on the width, the 60 series sidewall, wrapped around the gloss black 18-inch wheels. And for those who say, you know what, Tom, I don't want a turbocharged engine under the hood of my CR-V. What are my options? You're going to have to go hybrid. Here you're going to have the combination of the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder and the dual electric motors. 204 combined horsepower, 247 pounds-feet of torque, made it to an e-CVT, a little different than your conventional CVT. For those of you who are not fans of a CVT, try this out. You might like it a little bit better. And let's talk about MPGs on this particular model. 43 city, 36 highway, 40 combined, 2.5 gallons of gas. You do have a lockable gas door. When you lock the interior, the gas door also locks. Makes it more challenging for anyone to gain access to your capitalist fuel fill, that's a good thing. And if you're curious, the gas tank size is 14 gallons. And a couple of important notes here. We're going to have the power tailgate right here, but you'll notice, well, it sure doesn't open very high, does it? There's an easy fix for that. If you ever run into the situation, no matter where you want to adjust it, whether you want to push it up where it opens all the way or bring it back down, depends on your situation. But all you have to do is hold the button, listen for all the beeps, and when I open that back up, you'll see that it opens back up to its full capacity or full height. It just depends on your situation. Something very easy to deal with. Now, one thing that I know a lot of people have a knock on these CR-V hybrids with is the lack of a spare tire. It comes with a tire repair kit. There is a solution for that. You can buy a spare tire kit and have a spare tire underneath the floor here. Look around, make sure you're getting the right tire for your vehicle. That helps. We're going to have the 12-volt power outlet right there and your lighting back here. You also have the hangers right here for grocery bags or whatever else anybody wants to put in there. Also space right here to store things. And what about that one thing I alluded to earlier in the video that you don't normally see in these videos? Instead of giving you the cargo capacity in cubic feet, and tell me if you want to see me do this in future videos, I'm going to give you the cargo measurements in the cargo area back here in inches. A little more practical, a little more usable. So here we go. As far as the width with your opening back here, you're looking at 43 inches. When you measure from the floor to this area on the roof line, that is going to be 32.5 inches, and you'll gain about 1.5 inches and go to 34 inches when you go into the interior. You see where the roof line raises right here. And how about length? Well, there's going to be a little bit of a variation to this, but I'll give you the numbers with the way everything is set up right now. 35 inches from where the rear door closes right here to this area right here with the rear seats. Now, obviously, you can change the position of the seats a little bit. I'm going to move that up some. Those actually do recline, so that's going to make a difference. It's also going to make a difference where the front seats are set. So depending on who's sitting up here and how far forward or how far back the seats are, it'll depend on that to give you how much space you have in inches as far as going into the depth of the interior. The way everything's set up right now, we're looking at 73 inches from where the rear door closes to the back of the passenger seat in the front seat. And let's talk about what your rear seat passengers are going to find. I'll put my arm up here and give the armrest test. That feels comfortable to me, at least leaving my arm up there for a few seconds. Don't know what it would be like if it was on there for a long period of time. It's hard to say. Some people might even put their elbow on there like that. It does seem to have a reasonable amount of padding where that's concerned, but long term, hard to say what that would be like because I don't have the experience with it. Maybe somebody does, and you can tell us down in the comments section. The door bin right here, a reasonable amount of space. And like I said earlier in the video, we'll give you a good look at everything. Here's how far back those seats actually recline. I know that's a common question a lot of you have in these videos, so there you go. You'll obviously have the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. More auto manufacturers need to take note of this. The design here is perfect because even when your rear seat passengers have a drink in each drink holder right here, or just one, it doesn't really matter, there's still space to use this as an armrest because of the positioning of the cup holders. That is beneficial. And we'll find a singular rear seat pocket here on the passenger side, a couple of USB ports, and air conditioning vents back here. So for those of you who want air conditioning vents for your rear seat passengers, well, there you go. Also, the conventional size sunroof, it does tilt and slide open, the manual shade right there, and the latch system, which honestly, I think this is a good design. And why is that? Because there's nothing here. There's nothing that has to be moved out of the way. There's no covers that have to be removed. That means there's less to keep up with. That means you busy parents have less to worry about. You have a little more space here, not only with the armrest, but also with the door bin. So for those of you who like the largest door bins possible, better sit in the front seat. And more of that orange contrast stitching obviously carrying over here into the front seats. And you'll have power seats for the driver and the passenger, always a beneficial option to have. And then a little bit of space within the glove box right here. So plenty of space there. Wireless charging as far as that goes. There's your wireless charging pad, a couple more USB options, and another 12-volt power outlet. You'll select your drive modes right here. Hill descent control, power parking brake, and brake hold mode. And you even have more of that orange contrast stitching on the shifter boot right here. For those of you who have kept up with the CR-V the last few years, obviously with the full redesign that came for 2023 and carries over here into 2024, you have the shifter down here on the center console as opposed to up in this area as it used to be. Which one do you prefer out of those two options? Or does it make a difference? You're going to have your cup holders here. And the lid for the center console, well, not terribly low. It could be used as an armrest. And within the center console, a little more space. There is a lot of storage space throughout the interior of this CR-V. And here is the upper console. I'll give you a good look at what's up there. Obviously, the control right there in the center is going to be for the sunroof. You also have a sunglass holder right here. And one thing I like to ask about, depending on what your preference is, would you like to see a conversation mirror instead of the lack of one? Some people like that, some people don't. Some Honda models have it, some don't. If you don't know what that is, there's a mirror right here, and you can actually set this up to where it stays in place, and you can see what's going on in the back seat the whole time. Not that you need to stare there while you're driving, but if you want to know what the kids are up to, that could be beneficial. And here on the driver's side door, pretty much everything you likely expect to see. One thing you might not expect to see is going to be two settings for seat memory right there. As we work our way into the interior, we'll see the control for turning your traction control off or back on. You can also control your power tailgate back there from the driver's seat. The lever right here can be dropped to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And we will hit our push button start. Let's just see what comes up on the dashboard. Pretty easy to deal with. Simplistic, but it has a nice look as far as the digital look goes. You do have your analog gauge right there and the digital speedometer in the middle. I had somebody ask me one time if you could get rid of the digital speedometer. No, you can't. So maybe that's something to leave down in the comment section if you would like to. Maybe ask Honda to make that possible. I don't know how easy that would be to do, but I have had people ask about that in the past. Over here, you can control the functionality of the lighting on the exterior of your vehicle, including your blinkers, in case you didn't know what that was for, as well as your control right here for your front and rear window wipers, steering wheel mounted controls. And for those of you who are saying, oh, look, it has paddle shifters. Well, that's actually not what these are. Being that this is a hybrid vehicle, these are for adjusting your regenerative braking. That uses kinetic energy to keep the battery charged. You can determine how aggressive that is or is not. Also, push button start. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. The 9-inch touchscreen. Now, one of the most common comments I receive here is that the screen is too small. What do you think? Everyone's going to have varying opinions on that. What is yours? You can go in and make plenty of changes and see what you need to get to as far as vehicle settings go. So that's always nice to see. You can go back right here. Also, general settings. Not quite the same. Doesn't have the graphics, but not a big deal, I don't think. But there you go. You can see what that is. There is a backup camera and 3 different views here. So you have that view, second view, and the third view. So 3 different views where that's concerned. And obviously Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. So you can pair your smartphone. It is done wirelessly. So you do have that option where that is concerned. You also have your dual zone climate control here and heated seats for the driver and the passenger. And what about those driving modes I talked about earlier? Well, let's start here. We have normal, you got the graphics associated with each driving mode. You have econ, work our way down to snow, and then all the way back up to sport mode. So depending on what you want, you can take advantage of the different driving modes And by the way, one thing I didn't touch on earlier in the video that you may want to know about, what is brake hold mode? When you activate that, that's when your vehicle comes to a complete stop. The brakes stay engaged until you push the gas pedal again and decide it's time to go. So there could be a lot of advantages to that depending on your driving situation. And for those who want to know what the 8-speaker audio system sounds like, here's a little demonstration for you. Hopefully that's enough. I don't want to go too long on that. I hope my lapel mic picks that up well enough to give you a good sampling. And what is the ultimate tour without seeing how things look in the dark? Well, at least as close as we can get to the dark. And there are the low beams, there are the high beams. Give you a look at everything else within the interior here as best as we can, at least in the darkest atmosphere we can get to at this point. There are your steering wheel mounted controls, and then everything on the door. And I'll hit the left-hand turn signal so that we can get outside and I can show you the turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors in action. We'll also give you a look without blinding you, hopefully, at the LED headlights and daytime running lights. We'll also go around here to the rear and let you see what everything looks like. Something you don't normally see in these videos, kind of like showing you the cargo capacity in inches. And one more thing, let's take a look at the interior lighting. You can see that the lights really do a good job of illuminating the interior. All right, we'll get out on the road for a quick test drive. The CR-V does have a nice sporty feel to it as far as with the hybrid version and the Sport L trim level. When you need to get up and go, it does a good job of getting up and going. And while it's not meant to be anything that's high performance, some might wonder, is 204 horsepower enough? Well, when you pair that with the 247 on the torque, you definitely have no trouble accelerating up to speed, getting up to highway speed when you need to merge into traffic or move around slower moving traffic, whatever the case is, not a problem. The ride quality is definitely good. And it's not that it was bad with the previous generation, but Honda made some minor improvements, which is a good thing. So every road I've been on, I've felt like you had a very comfortable ride quality here. And as far as the seats go, they seem to be comfortable to me. One point I do like to make where that's concerned is that I don't have a lot of time in these seats. So the test drives here that I take, I don't spend a lot of time in the vehicle. It would be nice to take a nice long road trip or maybe just a couple of hours or something like that and just see what it feels like overall. Those of you who own CR-Vs can tell us down in the comments what that experience has been like for you. So share that. I'm sure other people would like to know. There's only so much I can share where that's concerned. And the technology here is very easy to learn, very easy to use. Everything is easy to get to. And one thing I really like here is the fact that I don't feel cramped. Not at all. I'm 5'10", very comfortable. I feel that people well in excess of 6 feet tall would have no trouble here in the front seat, and I don't think really even in the back seat. Again, we'd have to have some of you with experience tell us what that's like down in the comments section, but I know for sure the front seat wouldn't be an issue. I don't think the second row would be either. Overall, a very well-rounded vehicle for what it is. Fun to drive, definitely going to get the job done on giving you some good gas mileage. I'm always curious to know, for those of you who might say, well, you know, Tom, I feel like the CR-V needs more horsepower, the CR-V hybrid. What number do you have in mind? So tell me what you think about the 2024 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport L now that we've given you a good in-depth tour. The one question I would like to see you answer in the comments section is, what would you like to see Honda add in the future to these CR-V hybrid models? Always curious to know, but there's something I'm sure that somebody's going to say, yeah, I wish it had a larger touch screen or whatever the case is. Tell me what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this CR-V for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. If you haven't subscribed just yet, please do so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.